Hello, NFA, no fucking around, money mamas. I've got such a fun episode for you today. We are on episode number 12 of the Woman Entrepreneur podcast, and we're talking about how client attraction is just like attracting your soulmate on Match. Woo woo. I'm even wearing red today because it's like this, fiery love color. I almost always wear black. So if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be like, whoa, I don't think I've ever seen Dr. Amanda in anything other than black. So this is a fun, exciting episode because I think a lot about comparisons in daily life and how to make it enjoyable and fun to build our businesses, and how to make it enjoyable and fun to teach you tips and tricks and strategies to attract easier money your way. And when you have client attraction strategies that work, everything in your business gets super easy and it just feels fun. And so I was talking to my husband the other night, and we were talking about how our match profiles worked so well, or let's say mine did, for me to attract him, who I really consider my soulmate. He is heavenly. We're just best friends. We get along so well. We go through the ups and downs well together. We've blended our families well, and we just are we jive. And I didn't really believe in soulmates before. And I don't really know that I believe that we just have one soulmate. I think that we have a lot of different soulmates in friends, in clients, in kids that we have, and in lovers, and all of those things. I think that people have resonance, right? And this really has to do with the law of attraction. Whatever level you're vibing at, you're going to attract the matching into your life. And this is going to happen in relationships. It's going to happen with your clients, and it's going to happen across the board with money and all of the things that you create in your life. If you go back to episode 11 and you listen to the manifestation formula, the 3 steps, we're going to really integrate that today into this conversation. We're going to have so much fun. So really stay tuned until the end, because I'm going to read my dating profile and I'm going to tie it and compare and contrast it to what it's like to attract your, I'm going to say, client soulmates. And because you're going to get to work with some really cool people in the world, and you want those people to be aligned, and you want to resonate with them at the highest level possible. And so you want to learn how to attract your rock star, 5-star client soulmates. And that's exactly what I'm going to teach you today, with 3 specific tips. So let's break this down first. This is going to be really fun. I'm going to read you my profile. And let me give you a little bit of a backstory here. So for those of you who are new here and don't know me yet, I'm Dr. Amanda. I'm known as the money healer. I went from food stamps to building a 6-figure business fast. And part of that journey started with relationship fallout, like bad relationship fallout. So I left my 15-year marriage having an affair. And that 15-year marriage, I got pregnant when I was a sophomore in college. And it was with the person who I had met in high school, who was like my first love. And he had moved away for a while and then came back, and we had, fell back in love, and we were dating, and I ended up getting pregnant, and we decided to get married. And I ended up dropping out of college because at the time, I had a lot of money blocks, and I had grown up watching my family. I was raised as a fundamentalist Christian, so I had grown up watching the women in my life not be the breadwinners, and really they were taught that they had to be the caregivers. And so I had this modeling about what it was like, what it meant to be a good mom, and what it meant to be a good wife. And he was going to school for engineering, and I was going to school for psychology. And we both agreed that his job in the end was going to end up making a lot more money. So it made more sense for me to drop out of school, because we tried to both go together at the same time. And we would like drop our daughter off in between classes. And, we'd have a 10-minute gap between his class and my class. And so I'd stroll her up onto campus, and then I'd drop him with her, and then I'd go to class, and we would do homework all night, every night. And he had pretty severe anxiety. And so it just didn't work well. And he was really stressed out, and he talked me into dropping out of school, which was devastating, because I was really, I was getting straight A's. I was doing really well. I loved going to school. I am an avid learner and always have been. And so it was challenging for me to drop out. I really felt resentful and frustrated and sad. And, in that you take the twists and turns of marriage. And so I dropped out, supported him, in all of his endeavors. He didn't end up finishing school and became an entrepreneur. We had a bankruptcy in there. We had 3 kids. We lost our house to foreclosure. I mean, it was a wild roller coaster ride with a lot of stress, a lot of fun too, of course. I mean, my kids are like, I love my kids so much. I could cry just talking about them. They are my heaven. And, so having those 3 kids was a huge blessing, but my marriage was very challenging and we had a lot of ups and downs, as I said. And so I ended up, when I went back to school to finish my second 2 years, I was in my 30s, my late 30s. And I ended up meeting somebody, falling in love, having an affair, telling my husband about it. We went to counseling and it didn't work out. I really wanted to have a different relationship, and I didn't know how to say it. And I really did not have good relationship skills at all. And neither did he. And so we decided to get divorced, and this next relationship that I was in wasn't working out. And so here I am one night sitting on the floor crying, and I'm looking out at the empty basement because my boyfriend had moved out of this house that we had rented together. And I was looking in the paper all day on Craigslist for houses, and I couldn't afford anything. I lived in a very expensive area, Boulder, Colorado, and I was still in school, working my way through to get my PhD. And I was already working another job, and I was already on food stamps. And I was like, oh shit, no one's coming to save me. My ex-husband doesn't want to talk to me right now. We still hadn't repaired our relationship. My parents didn't have money at the time. Like didn't have credit cards because of that foreclosure that my ex-husband and I had gone through. So I was stuck and I was scared. And I remember sitting up and thinking, no one's coming to save me. And what is the problem? Like, what's the common denominator here? And I realized it was me. I looked at myself and the patterns across my life, and I was like, God, I have had some really crappy relationships, and I've made some interesting choices, and it's time to get empowered. And in that moment, I made a declaration, like out loud. I said, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to have a better relationship and fix my money situation. And I didn't know where that was going to lead me, but where it led me was to podcasts, because I was super busy and I didn't have a lot of free time, and I definitely didn't have money for coaches and things like that. And at the time, I didn't even really know what coaching was, but I just started listening to relationship podcasts. And I would listen to them on double speed while I was washing the dishes and taking my kids to school and walking between my classes. I would have classes that I was taking, classes I was teaching, and I would put my headphones on and walk to class and listen to podcasts on double speed. And I was learning a lot. And it was like awakening this fire inside of me. And I was realizing, wow, I don't know anything about self-confidence or relationships or money. And I started to change, and I started to feel better. I had a lot of social anxiety. I was very, very codependent. I had a lot of relationship troubles with, history of abusive relationships and all kinds of crazy stuff. And I had brought that into my relationships, and I really didn't know how to stand up for myself. And the time when I had an affair, it was like, that was my way of standing up for myself. It was the only way I knew how to leave a relationship. And I look back on it now and I'm like, wow, there's skills that you can learn. And that's what I started to learn in those podcasts. And so, the way that I think the world works in this beautiful way, and it's exactly manifestation, is that everything starts to conspire when you are dedicated and you're on a path. The universe starts to conspire with you to fulfill what you've declared that you want, and you're taking action, right? So you go back and listen to the last episode, number 11, and you'll hear the 3 steps to manifesting. This is exactly what was going on for me. So as this was going on, and here I am, I thank God, I attracted subsidized housing, called and said, we have a place for you. Even though they had called, when I called them originally and I said, oh my God, I need to be on the wait list, and I have 3 kids and I'm facing homelessness. I have no idea where I'm going to live because I didn't have enough money to rent anywhere. And they said, it's like a 3 to 6 month waiting list. And I was like, oh shit. I was, crying and scared every day, freaking out. I didn't know what to do. They called me. I went to the office and I talked to the people. I'm like, hey, I'm going to go and talk to whoever I can and just try to work my way in there, because this is like, I need a place to live. And so it worked. I talked to them, and 2 weeks later, I got a phone call and they said, we've got a place for you. And I mean, I cried when I found out. I was like, oh my God, what a relief. I'm not going to be homeless. I really didn't know what I was going to do. And so, here I am living in subsidized housing now. I'm listening to these podcasts. Things are starting to change in my brain. I was really reprogramming my money mindset. I wouldn't have known that at the time, but that's what was really happening because I was saturating my brain with new information, and it was causing me to change the way I saw the world. So I was changing from the inside, and my outer world was changing. And so in the magical way the universe works, at the same time, my department where I was earning my PhD in sociology had this national news fallout. People were leaving the department and everyone was stressed to hell. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to be a professor anymore. That was what I was on track for. And what I had spent a lot of time and energy and, student loan debt to go to be an academic. And I thought, what if I just take the leap and become a coach? Because all of these podcasts that I was listening to were done by coach type entrepreneurs. And I was like, that'd be awesome. I could teach and do what I love because I loved teaching at university. I had over 2,000 students. I won teaching awards. I loved it. And I thought I could teach and get paid to do it. And there's an unlimited number of people I could help, and I could make an unlimited amount of income. And I started to like plant that seed. And I remember so well, I was on a run with my very best friend who I still just love to this day, and we still run together. And I said to her, I think I want to be a coach. And she was like, we were both kind of like, we don't totally know what that is, but I think I want to be a coach. And so I started to really dig into that. And so, I could tell a really long story. I'll shorten it a little bit. At the end of my career in academia, when I was graduating, I decided I'm taking the leap and I'm going in all the way. And I took a transitional semester where I graduated and they asked me to be a professor in the honors department, which was really cool because I got to teach tiny classes. And I had 2 classes. And it was part-time, but it was just enough money to fund my business. And so I did that for 6 months. And then at the end of that 6 months, they asked me to come back. And I said, no way, I'm going 100% with my business. And so I cut that off and I went 100% with my business. And in that very first full-time year, I went 6 figures. And everything since then has been just this amazing learning curve of being an entrepreneur and healing myself from the inside out, healing my relationship to money, helping other people do that, and healing myself in relationships in general. Like I said, I was very codependent and I really struggled in relationships. And obviously, when you have an affair to end a relationship, that's not skilled. And so I don't beat myself up for that. I've done the repair work and I understand the complexity of these situations. And I know that, now I have the skills to not get myself into situations like that, and I can communicate. And so through all of that, now here I was coming into COVID, or let's say in the middle of COVID, I was like, okay, I'm ready to attract my person. I had been dating and I had a lot of ups and downs with that relationship that I was talking about before for a while. It took me quite a while to disentangle and cut ties. If you're in the manifestation world and you think about quantum entanglement, I totally see how this happens. And so I was very entangled with this person that I had been with. And so we moved in and we moved out and we had all these ups and downs. And finally there was the last ending when he ended up having an affair. And part of it was because of my entrepreneurial journey and my growth. I was growing in a very different direction than him. And after I found out about him having an affair, I just said, we're done. And so after the repair of myself through that, obviously I still saw that I had a lot of growth work to do. And so I was doing that work. And through COVID, I was reading a lot of books and staying single, which for me is a codependent, having that codependent history can be hard. If any of you resonate or know about codependency, it's hard to be alone. And so I kept reading and I kept growing and I kept learning. And that's when I really started to see my own competing commitments that I had in my beliefs with relationships. And so I started to do this big work and it really was changing me. And so, coming into COVID, I decided I usually have a pretty easy time meeting people, and I wasn't going to any networking events because they weren't holding any in person. And so I decided I'm going to get on Match. And I had never done online dating before. And I decided, let's get on Match and see what happens. And so, of course, part of the process of getting on Match is that you've got to write a profile. And I had a rock star coach who's one of my dear friends. If you want a rock star relationship coach, reach out, DM me and ask me, and I'll give you her information. She is a rock star, awesome, amazing person, really helped me. And she actually helped me craft this dating profile. And I'm going to read it to you because I want us to tie this into client attraction and attracting our soulmate. Okay. So here's my profile. I wrote this in October of 2020, and it says, hey, thanks for stopping by to check out my profile. Once you get to know me, you'll discover that I'm a nerdy, heart-centered, wild, deep-thinking entrepreneur. I read a lot, meditate daily, and I'm always learning something new. I have a PhD, and I'm way into understanding how to apply universal principles to manifest awesomeness in life and biz. I'm a recent empty nester, and now that my 3 kids are older and doing their thing, my business has become my baby, and I absolutely love what I do: mindset, money, and manifestation coaching for entrepreneurs. When I'm not working, I enjoy trail running in the backcountry with no bear spray. There was a picture related to this in my profile. Hiking, dinner out, and then I put in parentheses, because I was attracting someone in my local area, and they would know these restaurants. I said Hapa is my favorite place to go in Boulder for sushi and sake, breweries, Southern Sun, anyone? And I just started testing out work vacays to explore new places. Most recently, I went to Montana, and it was spectacular. I tested out taking my biz on the road, mixing in trail runs and breweries. I see a future of work vacays like this with a playful partner. Sound like your type of adventure? Let's do it. My style of relationship is cooking dinner together, going out on the town, snuggling up to watch movies or read together, game night with friends, US work vacays, traveling to other countries. And then I put in the parentheses, Ireland's my first pick. Where would you want to go first? And co-creating awesomeness together, whatever that looks like for us as a power couple. I've experienced enough casual and long-term relationships in my life to know what I want now. And I want everyone to be paying attention to here, to thinking about this like a profile, a bio for you, for your clients, right? Ooh, I gotta turn off that notification bell. So think about how I'm broadcasting so clearly what it is that I want and who I am, okay? And this is what you want to be doing when you're attracting rock star clients who are your soulmate clients, okay? Okay, so I said, I've experienced enough casual and long-term relationships in my life to know what I want. I'm inspired to co-create a partnership of deeply connected love, trust, and fun. My person will see our relationship as the foundation for cultivating an amazing life together as we grow through the ups and downs that happen in a long-term partnership. If you're the kind of guy who is growth-minded with a high EQ, is successful in your career and loves what you do for work, cares for your body, desires deep convo and connected intimacy, enjoys nature and travel, and wants to spend time with someone of like mind, then I'd love to meet and get to know each other. Okay, so in this profile, the reason I'm reading it to you is because listen to how clear it is, okay? And so let's dive into these tips on how you're going to attract your soulmate clients, okay? So tip number 1, how to attract your soulmate clients is that you've got to broadcast clearly exactly who you are and who you desire to attract. So you hear in that profile bio that I'm like, here's who I am. I lay it all out there, and then I ask exactly, if you're this, I want you. Okay, there's no desperation in it. There's no fear of promoting myself. There's no like, hey, I better hide this part of myself. I say I have kids and I like to adventure and I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a nerd and all these things, right? And I broadcast it really clearly because you need people to know exactly who you are. So when you're attracting clients your way, you want to be broadcasting clearly who you are in the content that you put out in the world. Okay, this is going to help your clients know you. It's going to help them know, like, and trust you. It's going to help them see, it's like a beacon, right? It's like them going like, oh my God, I've been looking for you my whole entire life, just like a soulmate would on Match, right? And so you want to be thinking about that, like, how am I attracting my rock star people my way? By being clear about who I am and what I want and who I want to attract toward me. Okay, this is like niching down. It's impossible to please everyone and be with everyone. Imagine if in my profile I had not been clear and I just kind of said like, I'm not sure who I want. Maybe you're a dad. Maybe you don't, I don't really care if you don't like your career or if you're an entrepreneur, like those types of things. Like I was clear. I said, I'm, like, who is it? I'm a mom, right? I broadcasted that. I'm a businesswoman. I broadcasted that. I'm a nerd. I love to read about money mindset. If someone who is like not into money mindset, and maybe they don't have to be super into money mindset and manifestation to be my soulmate, but they've got to be like open to it, right? And it's very clear when you read that bio, it's not going to attract someone who's not into any of those things. If someone isn't athletic and doesn't take care of their body, and I'm a trail runner, it's not going to be a very good mix. It's the exact same thing in your business. You do not want to be broadcasting that you can help every single person. You want to be broadcasting your small niche, and this will help you scale your business so much faster, just like it helped me attract my soulmate, just like I do this in my business too. I want you to niche down and get really clear about who you are, what's your brand identity, and who you are serving, and who's the right fit for you. That way you're broadcasting to them so that they can come your way and magnetize to you really, really easily. Okay. So that's tip number 1. For tip number 2, you're going to take inspired action in the direction to promote yourself. So this ties back to the manifestation formula. Okay. So to attract your client soulmates, just like I did with the profile, I got back from Montana and I decided I'm ready to attract my soulmate. What did I do? I didn't sit on my couch and just wait around and hope that someone was going to find me. I got on Match. Okay. So for you, same thing. How are you promoting yourself to your soulmate clients? How are you calling them to you? What are you doing? Do you have a system in place for lead generation? And you could go back to the lead gen episode, and this was episode number 8, where I talk about how to do lead gen that works. And you want to be thinking, what is my system of lead gen? For me, for dating, it was Match. I thought, I'm not going to any networking events. I'm not really meeting people out in the world. I might as well try an online dating system. And I liked Match the best. I looked at a few and I was like, yeah, Match looks like it'll work for me. And I checked it out. And I didn't say this part. I only went on 3 dates. I found Abe, my honey, in 3 dates. He was my 3rd date. And it was so cool. I had so much fun with it. My first date, super fun, met a really cool guy. I knew it wasn't a good partnership match, but we had a great time. Second guy, we had a nice conversation. And I knew, very quickly, probably not a good fit for me. And I even knew by the conversations we were having, but I thought, I'm just going to go out and have fun. I'm practicing. And I know that when you take a step on the way appears. And so I'm going to be in action, moving in that direction, and I'm going to have fun with it. This is the same exact thing in your business. You take inspired action, okay, like creating the dating profile or like using a lead gen system that works really well. I have awesome tools for this stuff. If you are loving what you're hearing here, I want you to remember that to work with me, all you've got to do is go to workwithdramanda.com, workwithdramanda.com, and I can help you double your income in a year. Promise. Like that's my guarantee. I have a mastermind called the NFA Money Mama Mastermind, and we rock it out, and it is awesome. And it's way less expensive than you would probably think, and it will bring you high ROI. So you go through a training course to reprogram your money mindset while you get weekly time with me and the community. It's awesome. Okay, so just wanted to drop that. If you're looking for lead gen tools, I've got amazing ones that work really, really well to attract your soulmate clients your way. So, here we're talking a lot about mindset, and we're talking about the way that you want to, this is a biz breakdown session. You want to be building your business from this place of going, am I taking inspired action to promote myself on a daily basis? What are you doing to promote yourself? And for me, it's podcasting and my YouTube channel. And I put out the content that I create here on social media. That's how people get to know, like, and trust me. So on this first tip that I gave you, you've got to broadcast clearly who you are and who you desire to attract. Every piece of content I put out there in a very specific lead gen strategy way is to show, hey, here I am. Here's what I stand for. Here's what I can help you with. And now it's very clear to you who would be the right fit to come work with me. Okay. And this is me taking daily inspired action to promote myself on social media channels and in my marketing and in my lead gen. So you want to be thinking, what am I doing to broadcast that? And the next tip, how to attract your client soulmates, is let the universe take care of the house. Okay, so this is the exact manifestation formula from episode number 11. You're going to let go and surrender. Okay, and what I mean by this is that you can never completely plan everything. And if you surrender and let go of control, the universe can bring you something even better than you imagine. And I'm going to give you a really fun example here. So my honey Abe on Match, when I did this profile, I set my parameters for 20 miles within where I lived at the time, which was Boulder, Colorado. He lives 90 miles from Boulder, Colorado. So it doesn't really make sense that he found me because his parameters were also set for 20 miles, but somehow Match connected us. We still to this day don't understand it. I don't know if you are all online daters, maybe you know that this happens a lot, but yeah, I was new to it and I thought like, that makes no sense. How did we get connected? It doesn't make sense at all. I think of it as manifestation and I go, we were supposed to be together. We were attracted to each other through the law of attraction. I put out there very clearly what I was looking for. When he read it, he was like, oh my God, I want to meet this person. And so we started talking to each other. If we had relied on ourselves, I would have never met him, right? If I had made a plan and I had like been tightly controlled about it, I would have never met him because he lived 90 miles away. Now, a cool manifestation part of this is that my daughter at the time was going to school 1 mile from his house. We didn't know this. She was in the same town in Colorado Springs, but she was 1 mile from his house. And then it turned out that he had a franchise where he would go do visits with his people. And that was less than 1 mile from my house. We were like, no way, how cool is that? So manifestation works, right? I got clear on my intention. I broadcasted who I am, what I want. I took steps in the direction, and then I let the universe take care of the house, which brought to me Abe, who is my soulmate. The universe will work the exact same way for you in attracting 5-star clients when you follow this process. And a way that this happens in your business, when I say let the universe take care of the house, what you're going to do is you're going to broadcast exactly who you are and who you desire to attract your way, your rock star, 5-star soulmate clients. You're going to take action every single day, and you're just going to keep going, and you're going to stay consistent, and you're going to stay dedicated, and you're going to stay determined, and you're going to keep your eye on the prize. Whatever your vision is to fulfill in your business, you're going to keep doing it, and you're going to stay inspired, alive, and 100% believing that it's possible. Okay. My mission with NFA Money and the Women Entrepreneur podcast is to impact 5 million women. 5 million. Okay. And my eye is on the prize, and I'm doing it every day. And I show up every day inspired. I don't know exactly how it's going to happen. I have no idea. I just keep trusting that it will. Okay. And that's number 3. You're letting the universe take care of the house. It could be that I can get invited to one thing that goes viral and it turns into 5 million people impact. I have no idea. It could be books. It could be speaking. It could be my podcast. It could be my YouTube channel. I don't know exactly. I just know that I keep taking steps in the direction, and it's going to keep attracting people my way because I'm planting seeds daily. I'm building momentum. I'm applying universal laws, and I'm setting myself up to manifest exactly what I choose in my business and attract the perfect people my way, just like you, right? Like you're here listening to this right now. You're my person. You're one of my soulmates. That's how I think of it, right? If I'm impacting you right now and you feel like you got this like fire inside of you after listening to this episode, then we're supposed to hang out together, whether it be more on the podcast, more on YouTube, or you come into NFA Money Mama Mastermind with me, whatever it is, however we play or work together in the future, you're attracted this way because of me broadcasting clearly who I'm ready to work with, and you are resonating with my message. Okay? Does that make sense? Take a screenshot if you're listening to this on whatever version of podcast platform you listen to it on. Take a screenshot and tag me at NFA Money is where I hang out on Instagram. Tag me and DM me and let me know something from today that resonated for you. And I mean, really, I love to hear from my people, and I check my messages and I answer them personally. Okay, so message me and blast it out to your social media and tag me so that we can also reach more people, and you can help me be fulfilling that mission of helping 5 million women entrepreneurs. And let's recap. Okay, so for you to attract your client soulmates, you're going to, number 1, broadcast clearly exactly who you are and who you desire to attract. Number 2, take inspired action to promote yourself. And number 3, let the universe take care of the hows. Trust that the universe is going to bring you something even better than you could have ever planned. And I can say this from all of my heart because I freaking love my husband so much. I can cry right now thinking about how much I love him, and I could have never planned for him in particular to come my way. And I'm thankful every single day. Same with my business. The people I attract my way, I freaking love. I love that I get to make a difference in the world, teaching people how to master their money mindset and how to manifest easily and build businesses they love that make impact in the world. They get to make money doing what they love. That's what I get to teach. To me, there's nothing better than that. And the things I teach you here are the steps that I've taken to do that and the steps that I help other people take to do the exact same thing. So again, if you want to work with me, just go to www.workwithdramanda.com and let's hang out together and see if it's a good fit. Thank you so much for being here. I always have fun sharing with you, and I do love to hear from you. So you can leave me a comment either on YouTube or take a screenshot and DM me on Instagram at NFA Money. And until next time, I'm giving you huge soulmate hugs and NFA money making high fives.